Hey folks, ACCG here, and in today's video we have got another One Piece card game TCG video. So last format for OP02 I did a tier list going through all of the leaders, giving my thoughts. And I'm going to do the same thing again for OP03. So I'd planned to do this and then a ban list had hit. So I was like literally just finishing off the video and then a ban list hit. So yeah, that kind of like skewiffed that a smidgen. It made some decks a bit stronger, made some decks weaker in aspects, some deck builds, I'll say specifically. So yeah, before we get started, I just want to shout out my Discord channel. I can't word today. Yeah, so I've been working on that a little bit. I'm just using it as a place where we can share newer cards coming out. So we're looking at some of the like OP05 cards that have come out. A lot of people from my locals are in there. If you want to do sim videos, you want to talk through deck build ideas, I love talking through deck builds. And if you're new to the game and you learn like some of the more important things to start taking into account, then yeah, join and you'll be able to talk through with other like-minded people. But yeah, let's kick it off. So this is going to be OP03 post ban list, where we saw the Rad Beam go to 1, we saw Mr. Big Eddie go to 1, and we saw the Blocker Marco finally go to 1. Which is delightful. But weirdly, not a lot has actually changed from that, from the like order and the stand hall. The only thing is that like some decks, like I said, have become a little bit stronger. So in the last one I did, it took ages, so I'm just gonna blitz through today. Some of them are pretty bread and butter. So we'll start off with Roronoa Zoro OP01. This deck has been like S tier since OP02, and it still continues to be that. The hits to all three of the red cards doesn't really heavily impact it that much. All three of the cards that got hit are searchable, and also like you just have other options that are just really solid in it. The one thing is that like the original list was very heavily mid-rangey. That's kind of the case. I think some of the lists are focusing more on the removal aspect of it now, running like the Fire Fists. There've been a lot of lists running 4 Fire Fists, 2 Fire Fists, and it's coming around a lot. And it's focusing more on the aspects of like the Otama, the Gordon, having the Marco as a staple in the list. Just add to that nice removal aspect while also still kind of just being Unga Bunga. One thing I will say about this deck is it's actually just like super easy to lose with it. Like if you don't spend the time learning the correct lines and stuff like that, or making the correct micro decisions when you're in those difficult matchups, you're just gonna get stomped. Like you're playing a lot of small weenies, and I think a lot of people's like mindset is like, oh, Zoro just goes face. But in the reality, like you need to focus on when you're playing things, when you're doing things, and I think it's easy to slip into that mindset to be like, oh, well, did you just keep swinging and attacking for 5? And that might be the games. There's some games that are just a complete like wash, and then there are other games where it's like I made this one small micro decision earlier, and because of that, I've been able to just survive by 1k and stuff like that. There are a lot of lists for Zoro. If you're looking to build Zoro, I'd look across the board, try out different lists. Some are running like the Martial Teach. Some, I nearly said Monkey D Teach then. Some aren't running that at all, but still are running like the one of Edward, and some are just going like full Straw Zoro with the Namis and stuff like that. But yeah, still lots of results coming in. There's been a lot of tops for Zoro, but not an actual lot of first places for the regionals and the treasure cups. The next 2 decks that I'm going to cover are the actual ones that have been getting more of the wins, and I think that's because when you get to that higher ceiling level, it's just a bigger payoff, and that's Trafalgar Law. This has just been a problematic leader since I joined and read the card and was like, oh, an actual combo deck in the game. I was like, and it's just so problematic. Like this just like emphasizes all of the issues with red in the game, in my opinion. Like, it's not only the like the draw package of green and like the power that is the 5-drop law is just insane. The blocker law, that card is still just bonkers. Like the first time I read it, I was like, oh my god. And then mixed with like being able to use a Bonnie into a blocker law into playing a Zoro, or playing a Zoro into playing a Zoro for free, and it's just like, what? Like how is this ever like not thought through? And it's insane, especially when you can like play all of these cards that add you all of these pluses, and then also you just get to play a 5-drop for 2 that also allows you to play a 3-drop for free. It's just like, hold on, like, and then that's that. It's like sometimes you're playing against it and you just can't catch your breath, and then the defensive capabilities it has as well, because of all of the one cost blockers, is just insane. Like, just being able to go, huzzah! I have 2 choppers, a beige, and my 5 cost law. Can you get through it? If not, cool. But that being said, this definitely has one of the highest ceilings for the deck in the game. It's very easy to misplay, and your deck has the issue that it can just like lose to itself if like you just completely like stuck. If you brick, if you don't hit any of your pieces, when it's like play an army, oh I missed, oh well now I don't have enough counter to protect myself. So definitely, if you're looking at this, protect yourself. Spend time practicing with this deck. Don't just be like, this deck tops up, must be the best in the world. Spend time. A lot of people topping with Trafalgar Law are people who've played Law since it came out, so keep that in your mind. And then the other problematic one, when I find it, is here he is himself, Big Eddie. So I want to put this in S tier still. You could argue that it's like A after all of the nerfs. I've definitely found myself having easier matchups against Big Eddie. I think if you're in the US, it's S tier because it's everywhere, and like again, everyone's played the same lists, same decks like since it came out. The only thing now is that like they are gonna miss the Big Eddie more. They don't have the complete degeneracy that is just like, I have 2 blocker Marcos, good luck. And then like when you swing off a game and they go, here's 3 rad beams. They don't have that anymore, but they still have guard points. They still do have that 1 blocker, and they're just running more 2 cost blockers. So I still think it's like S. I do. Like, I feel like the hands that you get, I think sometimes people aren't. The one thing is that might push it to A is that a lot of the people who are going to be playing it are going to be used to a mentality of playing it, of being like, oh, I can afford to take this damage now. Whereas actually, you kind of like in a bit more fragile state. The timer that you put on from like the leader, like self-damaging every turn, is a lot more prominent now that you're not going to have 9 drops consistently every game. So I'm actually on the fence about this one. We'll put it in S for now. I still think it's super strong. Like, Edward running the draw package is just insane. Like, having access to all of the rush cards is just absolutely bonkers, and just being able to just go bang, bang, bang is really scary. I'm going to put it in A. I'm going to put it in A for now, but it could definitely be S. This is one of those decks where you need to watch out. Speaking of watching out, Katakuri. A lot of tier lists are putting Cat in S. I don't think so. I don't think Yellow has enough right now to be able to just get over a lot of what like the decks in the meta can like put up against you. For example, like, how are you breaking through 4 blockers against Trafalgar Law when you're playing Cat? Apologies. Yeah, that's the question. However, it is very strong. Like, there can not be any question. There are games where you hit all of your counters, you hit 1 or 2 counters from your life, and your opponent's just like, cool, I guess I've lost. And that happens. The 10-drop Big Mom is, in my opinion, the biggest and best body that we've had yet. Like, being able to on-play, heal, and deal the damage, both offensive, defensive, and a 12k body. That's insane. Yeah, still fantastic. I don't know. Maybe I think this is here right now. I don't know. I don't know if it's better than like the Whitebeard right now. I think it has a lot of really good matches, and the issue is that it always has the thing where it's like, if I go second, I'm in a much better position, but if I go first, I'm just kind of like losing quite a lot of my value. Like, being able to play a Perispero going second and then put it down under Katakuri to attack for 7 is really impactful. You can't do that when you're going first. But yeah, it's still very high. Like, don't let me put it down. It's currently my favorite deck to play in the entire format. I think because it's new, it's refreshed, and also I'm just a sim for yellow cards, I guess. I think this is fantastic. I think this has the potential to be up here as soon as it gets more stuff. Like, or if you run really well, or not even really well, if you run half decent into like some of your matchups, or you're playing against like the Trafalgar Law and they don't just have immediate blockers or answers to all of your cards, then you're cool. One thing that it can really struggle against though is 5-5-5-5-5-5-5-5-5, and that's why it can struggle against the Zara. That's why it struggles against the Law, because you don't have an awful abundance of actual counter in your hand. Yeah. A tier Lucci, similar to Cat. Deck's really cool. If you run well in a tournament, you can definitely top with this deck. No question about that at all. But I think Black is just missing stuff. Like, Isho is a fantastic card, but you can just play around it, and like when you do play around it, the card's just like, yeah, it's a decent sized body that has like a minus cost effect. But the Rob Lucci just is a really nice leader effect, and it's one of those where like in the future, Banner are gonna have to be super careful about the cards that they're releasing because it's so very close. It really is really close. What else do I think is? I think Dofi is A tier right now. I think a lot of decks can struggle against the amount of board pressure that it just goes play, and also it can also get a bunch of blockers out, which is super nice. Being able to have access to the Mihawk is just fantastic. Being able to bottom deck so many delightful things like is yes, it's chef's kiss. Very high ceiling on this deck. It's very easy to misplay. You have to remember things, which if you've got a simple brain like myself, that can be big poo poo. But the deck's really good, and it also just topped a regional as well. So yeah, definitely super strong, super nice. I like it quite a bit. Yeah, it's quite spicy. Kuro. I'm putting Kuro in A as well. This is a deck that I didn't want to be in A. I don't like this deck. I really don't like it. I don't like the idea that I need to have two things on board to be able to restand the Kuro. But it could be super scary. It's definitely going to be the end of A for me. I think a lot of it is like new green cards that people aren't going to be expecting, or like those new green cards alongside the people not really knowing what they do, then having that optimal like impact, like being able to play a Krieg and just like destroy Zoro's board and also have double attack pressure. Chef's kiss, really nice. But I don't think it's like stronger than these right now. I think it can come up, and similar to everything else in A tier, it's like if you run well and you run into your matchups like these two all day, where you just have all your answers and you're able to just kill the stuff and you don't get wiped down immediately, it's fantastic. Yeah. I I've seen so many lists putting Magellan in the A, but I only think Magellan is in A because of the cards like Katakuri. I actually think Magellan's a B deck right now. I think it struggles from the same thing that Purple's always struggled with, which is like, I just don't have enough counter right now. Which is just that, and it's like, yes, if you draw Magellan and Kings, so like, if you draw all of your Kings against Zoro or Lord, you're going to be sitting pretty. You look good. But if you don't, what are you doing? Like, is that... I do think it's high B and potential A, definitely. I think with the right player who's practiced it a lot, it could be the low end of A. I think you're going to struggle against a lot of these topper decks. Magellan is quite nice into the Katakuri because if you play the 5-drop Magellan, you just completely throw off the curve for being able to play like the 10-drop and the 7-drop. So keep that in mind. It's a good deck. But yeah. Red Green Monkey to Goofy. Not bad actually. This is pretty cool. Like there's a lot of like film stuff going right now. There's the what's the name of the guy that restuns after attacking a green card? I don't know. You know who I'm talking about. He's like a 5-cost 6k that you put Don X1. I can't remember names. That's fine. But you can restand it a bunch of times. There's a cool YouTube video. Just search Monkey to Goofy. And yeah, you'll find it. It's pretty nice. I'm putting Ace in A tier, and I think he's better than Kuro. I completely forgot about Ace. Yeah, Ace is good. It's got both offensive and defensive things. It got hit badly. Like I would have put Ace here. This would have been here and like this, but I'll put Ace like here now. Here. This is questionable. You decide here, basically. Depends. Oh, this is fine. Yeah, it's still really strong. Defensive and offensive capabilities. A lot of control into like decks that really need to have their pieces. Like if you're playing Ace against the Zoro and you're seeing all of your removal. Like if you see Fire Fist against Zoro or a Trafalgar Law, you're just sitting so pretty. Like, yeah, you're good. I think the deck's still good. Don't give up. Don't give up hope, my boys. And Linlin. I'm going to put Linlin end of it. I don't like this deck. I want to like this deck because I love everything about the mama, mama, mama. But I just can't wrap my head around it. It's so reliant on you like getting your pieces, and you just struggle so much to again unga bunga like smack at your face, and you're just like, oh my god. And it just doesn't have the offensive and like utility based skills that like the Katakuri does, being able to check earlier, potentially get your triggers earlier, and like there's been so many times where I'll use the Lin Lin ability and like grab a trigger accidentally, and I'm like, oh my god, no, I'm placing something down that's really cool, but like there's not a lot of options to place down right now. Like, and it can be kind of like, easy to like play around at times. Um, but if you draw your big draw three ditch two, your Shirahoshi. There we go. Oh my god, I remember the name. If you draw your Shirahoshis and you're able to stack your Shirahoshis, and then you're able to play your 8-drop Katakuri and just keep putting the Shirahoshis, you end up with a hand like this big, and you're just like, try me, bitch. And you can't break through it. So I think it's here or maybe high B. I think with more practice, like it doesn't seem like high ceiling when you're playing it, but I think it's a bit higher ceiling than like an average deck. So yeah, you maybe spend some time on this. Like it has some decent matchups, and then it has some piss poor matchups. So yeah, keep that in mind. Smoker. I like the idea of Smoker. I've played against the Smoker a bit. I don't think it's A. I think it's high B. I don't think it has enough right now, and I think that Rob Lucci is just cleaner into the current like meta because you're able to kill more weenies and be more offensive. Being more offensive with the Lucci is good. However, I think Smoker in the hands of a good player is definitely A, and I do think Smoker can top. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. Kinemon is C. It just doesn't do enough anymore. It was great last set because -1 to play things and just being able to play an Odin faster was great. But everything else is just too fast now. Like in this current format, I think it's C or low B. Maybe low B. C is probably a bit too impactful. Monkey D. Garp is C, and I'm sad to say that because I love this card and obviously I love Garp. But yeah, it just doesn't have enough right now. It has 4 life. I know I don't want to overly go about that. If anyone who watched the last one knows, I dislike 4 life leaders. I think it's just such an unnatural start. But yeah, just doesn't have enough right now. And like, you can play your Garp, and then if your Garp gets removed, you just lost the game really, which is kind of weird. Kid, A tier. I know it's so weird that I'm just like grabbing and picking, but here we go. Kid's A tier. Film Kid is fantastic right now. 8-drop Kid in this meta is spicy. Like if you are able to get 8-drop Kid and have blockers on the board, super spicy, and also it's just as impactful as like the Kuro and stuff like that. Do I think it's better than Kuro right now? Don't know. I think it's top more, right? Maybe. I think it's like this. This is fine. These orders are all the same. Don't take that for gospel. Kazuki Odin, goodbye. I shouldn't even have to speak about this. Why would you want to discard cards when you could just use Kinemon, which just does this but better? Kaido is like C. King. It's not enough. Why would you play this over like a Magellan or anything else? Like, yeah, just crazy. There are other Animal Kingdom leaders and stuff like Kaido. Which is good. Oh, I love this. This is spicy right now, and it's not better than Ace, and I think it's better than Kuro. But Blue Cock right now is super like unrepresented for like the actual impact that the card can have. This deck could be super duper spicy. Like I've played against this, and I've played against it using Zoro so many times, and every time I'm just like, Jesus Christ. So if you want a deck that specifically is just gonna like poop on the Zoro, especially if they're like not hitting ideal things, try out the Blue Croc. Give that a little smush. Sanji. So the reason I'm putting the Sanji here is because I currently think that Sanji is just the worst Arlong, and Arlong's going in high B. I've played against the Arlong before. Maybe I'll put it high. I'm going to respect the Arlong specifically as a shout out to you, Ben. But we've got a guy in locals who plays only Arlong and has only played the Arlong since the set came out. And do you know what? It actually can pack a punch. Like the deck has so many triggers in it, and it's just like, oh crap. Similar to, like, imagine playing against Katakuri without like almost always guaranteed it. And also, if you're a big dum-dum playing against a yellow deck and you don't know about some of their event cards that allow you to rest your cards on your opponent's turn, then yeah, that can catch you off guard. So yeah, the Arlong's super spicy. Play against it if you haven't played against it, I would say. Blurple, Croc, not good enough right now. Iceberg, I just say it's hardly used. Like, C is fine as well. It's just not used. It's not enough. It's Can you notice how much purple's in hardly used, by the way? Just let you know. Not being able to attack with your leader just stinks. It stinks of booty is the complete answer. Yeah, Mister, you can go here as well, Shanks. That's not happen. Same with the Sakazuki. There's just better options for the colors that you have with more life or with like an actual ability that's going to go off every turn. So yeah, Kaido in the sea, high T. Like 10-drop Kaido is a fantastic card. And like yeah, that's cool. Ivankov is better than these, but it's sadly currently in C, I believe. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough right now for the Ivankov. Like, especially in this meta, Z can go into hardly use. Sorry, Z. Especially in this meta, where I was like Ivankov, because like last format, you could comfortably like ditch your entire hand and then be like, I have 2 cards, and these 2 cards are gonna be my savior. If you do that in this format, your booty's about to get smushed. Is the perfect answer. Monkey de Goofy, high B. It's like Ace, but without the same like thing. It's just Ace. This is just Ace, but without the Whitebeard Pirates thing. Realistically, is how I see it right now. And like the difference being that Ace still has the built-in offensive and defensive like capabilities and stuff like that. After the ban list, but the Monkey to Goofy definitely got hit more because like all 3 of the cards were very reliant in the list that were going. Can definitely still catch you off guard, so don't take that word as gospel. This is a crazy tier list right now. Nami, I'm not putting it in 1.5, but I'm going to put it in high B. I want this deck to be A so badly. I really do. Like, I spent so much time on the sim trying to play the Nami, and the biggest issue with it is that every single game is a fight. You're fighting for your life every game, and like no matter what deck you play against, you're on a clock. You're gasping. You're always gasping, and I think that's just too much. Like you can't go into a regional and expect that every single like game that you play is just going to come up to your fault, because all it takes is for someone to high roll one time and you just lose. But there definitely are some games where like there's just nothing your opponent can do, like it, because if you're not attacking them with your Nami, they're just getting no resources from the stuff. If you can get your Zeph to stick and just have the pressure of the Zeph sticking and whacking for huge numbers and that pressure, and watch them ditch their entire hand to try and make sure you don't mill out, then you're going to get that advantage, and that's why I'll put it in high B. I think it has potential, and more blue cards in the future. Any card that says the word mill is definitely going to make this and put it back on my radar. And then black and yellow Linlin. I don't want to put it this low, but yeah, it's big stinky right now. It's like here, sure, because the cards for yellow are great. Like being able to still play the 10-drop Big Mom is nice. But black doesn't have enough. It has 4 life, and the biggest issue with this leader, it costs 4 to use your leader ability, and you can't afford to do that. Like if you're in a situation where you need to pay 4 to stay alive every single turn, you're on a clock that's only going down, Jimmy. Like 4 and discard is what you could just stack your deck with the much better yellow leader. That's the tier list. This is where we're at. I don't know how I feel about it. I think I probably got too many things in A, if I'm honest. Like I think a few of these could probably go down to like a comfortable B, like a very high B maybe. But it completely depends. But also like, look how wide the meta is right now. Like, look how much different options and variety you have to choose. Like, take your time. If you like, just look at different things. Like, these ban lists did actually help. It's got rid of a lot of the degeneracy of what red was doing. It still is a degen like color. There's no argue about this. There can't be an argument about that. The color is still dominant. Like, look at our S tier bracket. However, the oh my god, this will never end feeling for a lot of the stuff has kind of disappeared a little bit. Like, it's allowed a lot of these decks in A tier to just be able to hold their own a bit more against it. And that goddamn Marco going down to 1 is smexy. So, yes. Thanks for watching. Check out the Discord. And if you want to see any deck lists for, I don't know, anything in A tier, maybe some Bs, give me a shout, leave a comment, and peace. Have a great day.